people start to realize our differences aren't as big as they seem.
I couldn't really understand the magnitude of what was going on.
I know a lot of people were affected.
You know, it's still that divide.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network and Wish TV, this is Our City, Our Voice.
You look a lot different at it.
Everybody was kind of spinning about what it was and what was happening.
Everything's changed.
Everything's changed.
This year marks 60 years since the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, legislation that changed who could come to America. Well, today, local leaders gathered in Indianapolis to celebrate its impact, especially on Indiana's growing Asian American and Pacific Islander population. News 8's multicultural reporter Malia Van Ostren takes us inside the courtroom for a little bit of a closer look of how this law continues to shape the Hoosier state. Malia.
Yeah, you never know how an act could really change so much of the future. That was very exciting. The event, called The Changing Face of America, spotlights a turning point that made much of the state's cultural growth possible. But it's not just looking back, it's about looking forward.
Before 1965, immigration from Asia was almost entirely banned, but during the Civil Rights era, the new act replaced the quota system and opened the door for families like Indiana University professor and historian Dr. Ellen Woos to build their lives in Indiana.
I grew up in Indianapolis, and the city today looks a lot different than it did when I grew up, and I think that is really because it's an outcome of this law that was passed.
Dr. Wu says Asian Americans are the fastest growing racial and ethnic group in the country. There are about 230,000 in Indiana, which makes up nearly 3% of Indiana's total population.
Indiana is the main destination for Burmese refugee communities, so Indiana is home to large populations in both the Indianapolis area as well as Fort Wayne.
Dr. Melissa Borja, a University of Michigan professor, says the Asian American population is also the most religiously diverse, which is why you may see a Chin Baptist Church or Korean Presbyterian Church in Indiana.
Unlike other racial groups in the U.S., it's the only one that is not majority Christian, although Christians comprise a plurality. So about a third are Christian.
Borja says a large percentage are Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, or not affiliated.
That, I think, is really a reflection of broader patterns in migration to the U.S. So the Catholic Church is historically an immigrant church.
As Wu sees it, policymaking has shifted in the opposite direction, which will make a difference in the state's diversity down the line.
Very hard to predict what might unfold in the future, but I think we can say with confidence that the immigration laws and policies that we have today certainly will affect the makeup, the composition of this country moving forward.
According to Wu, the largest Asian American populations in this state are Indian, Chinese, Filipino, Burmese, and Korean.
Discover more at wishtv.com. And when you follow Wish TV on Facebook, check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.